All right. So you're like, oh, what is this? First answer, I do not know. And that's just my truth, okay? I don't know. I don't know why I did any of this. I was just freehand drawing. And then of course my head is still wrapped around the dynamics of the square, the triangle, and the circle. And so that's what made me just start thinking about this. And then I didn't plan this out. That just happened. And I put 10 first. So then I was asking myself, so I said, okay, so does 10 come before, 0 through 10, or are we reading the numbers backwards? Because I've come to learn, like, source operates like right to left, but we're taught to read like left to right. And then like some books, or you can see like where the translations kind of went left. But I was just thinking, like, in the body of it, like in itself, okay, so you have the brain, the heart, the lungs, and then the reproductive system. So I'm like, okay, the brain also represents the mind, the heart represents the body, the lungs represent spirit, reproduction system represents the soul, and then the cells within the reproductive system or within the body is like storage. It holds water, consciousness. The control center is pretty much like the nucleus, which is the, like, the center of the cell, of all cells. It's a nucleus. So I was thinking about what it all does, and it's like control center. And like in science, they'll go say like, oh, this is junk file or junk DNA, and it's only junk because it has no value, because they don't know what it means. So some people, like I explained before, like, everybody's born with a spirit, but not everybody's born with the soul. And just keep that in mind. I'm not gonna get too much into that. I'm just gonna explain what I got going on right here. But so then, okay, so looking over again, like the mind, body, spirit, soul, and then storage, or the nucleus. And then the mind is the spirit. The heart is your light or your sun. And most confuse the heart with fire. But that's just literally like a light. Well, light does have heat. Well, whatever. But anyways, and then the lungs, that's like the air, spirit, reproductive system. That's the soul, like the solar plexus. Like that's your fire. And then the cells, water. And then you think of like all of these, what is that? Like elements, right? Elements for nature. And what else we got going on? Oh yeah, and that also, that consciousness or time, the nucleus, the cell, that's time, right? So that's what I was getting at right here. And then I'm just messing around with the. Oh, it's raining so good outside. I'm about to go outside after this. But anyway, so I was just playing around with the shapes, like as you can see, like the triangle, the square, and then with a triangle, a square. I mean, the circle within a triangle, or then a circle within a square, and then in a circle, square, triangle. But I'm just messing around. So what got me even thinking? Because after this, I'm messing around with these square, these, and I'm looking at all of this, and I'm like, this reminds me of my PlayStation 5 controller, PlayStation 3, whatever, PlayStation or Xbox. It reminds me of a gaming controller. And I'm like, the only difference from with the buttons is that I don't have the little joystick or the directional pad. So I'm like, only thing that this is missing is direction. So again, that's why I'm thinking about electricity again. And then like just even dive in like more into like, the let there be life. I was thinking like, when somebody's coding, or yeah, somebody's coding and they're trying to bring somebody back to life, they use a defibrillator. So then you put that in reverse. So what if that defibrillator or something similar was what the spark of life was in this IVF clinic? But that's just still my mind going. But I was like, okay, the only thing that's missing is like the directions. So of course I drew the 4, but it's just so funny how I'm even doodling, but my lines just line up with what I was doing to even like confirm that there are 5 directions. The 5th is the center, and then as you can see, like there's your X. Boom. So this is where I'm getting at. So I'm like, okay. So then thinking about, because that's why I went down here, because this is the PlayStation controller. So you got your square, I mean your triangle, circle, X, and then square, and then this is the Xbox controller. So what's triangle will be Y, and then be a X. So I was like, okay, they both have X, but X is in two different spots. Why? So then I'm just messing around in my head, but then I'm thinking about chromosomes again. And you know how it says X is the XY is the male chromosome. But I was even thinking more into that, like spirit in itself. I believe it's like two levels in which we know you got your masculine energy and your feminine energy, and then you have your soul. But the spirit, yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna get into that. But like, this is just what I'm thinking now. So, like, the parents, X and Y, would be both mother and father, with X being parent A, Y being parent B. And then on the PlayStation remote, X is being time. So then I was like, okay, so if X and Y are parents with an S, that's why I said X would be. Okay. So then now, okay, like, this is just my thinking. I'm not saying like, oh, this is like science. Like, this is just my process of just processing what I don't know just yet. But anyway, so then when I'm looking at XX, the chromosome, so I'm like, okay, so XX, that's time, and then over here, that's parent A. So I'm like, parent A in time. But I'm just like, okay, so just thinking about science in itself, when the when the cell duplicates itself, that's mitosis. And I was just like, okay, because there's a song from Science I used to always sing. Meiosis is haploid, mitosis is diploid, meiosis is haploid, mitosis is diploid. And that just kind of helped me remember, like, with cell division. Boom. Always stuck with me for the rest of my life. And I'm glad I never forgot that. So then that's why I'm up here thinking, okay, like, okay, X duplicated or doubled itself and then created. Oh, but in my head, this is where I'm going at, like, time, and half a time. So you got a time with your mother, a time with your father, and then half a time, like, for your experience for yourself. That's just kind of what I'm getting at. So then I'm like, what is half a time? Just looking at time as X now. Half of X is K, and then depending on how you flip it, you can get J or I. And just messing around, you can get V and then L. Just depends on how you mess up. And then I'm like, okay, what is half a time as a word? And then I'm like, okay, T-I and then M-E. And of course, it reminds me of Sound of Music, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So then I was like, okay, T's right here, me's right here with the obsession of M-I, but still same difference. So I was like, okay, from right to left, that's where I'm going now. So from to spell time, right to left, half of that, the in between is the fa, sol, la, or the la, sol, fa. But I wrote down, like, as I had it, fa, sol, la, or fa, sol, la. And then I got this definition that Fasolo uses 4 syllables, fa, sol, la, and then me, because it repeats itself. So the repetition would be fa, sol, la, and then me. And then just thinking about shapes, since I'm already on the controller, fa, and I just wrote down which each one represents. So what caught my attention is that there are 3 triangles from do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. So you got your left-handed triangle, right-handed triangle, and then an upside-down triangle or half a diamond. So I'm like, that's got to mean something. Probably that time, and half a time again. I know I'm not off about, I'm not far off, and it's probably something I'm overlooking. I'm excited to get outside with the rain too, and the sky is just beautiful right now.